Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my UCLA football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and please subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate if you do that. I have a subscriber goal of 200 subscribers by August 24th, which I would love to hit. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, you won't regret it. Anyways, UCLA, we'll go through the pros and cons, the best case and worst case scenario, your three toughest and three easiest games. Then we'll go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you what games I have UCLA winning and losing, give you a score for each one as well, and then give you a final record prediction and conference record prediction. One have a quick note before I continue. Do not hold me to the game by game picks and the scores. Just hold me to the final record prediction and conference record prediction. So, two pros and two cons. Let's get into it. Your first pro is Chip Kelly. Listen, I do think Chip Kelly kind of faded a little bit since a lot of these offenses they still have that like style, or like they go with basically what Chip Kelly was going with Oregon 10 years ago when he was at Oregon. But I still think he's a very good offensive mind. And I think UCLA. I think that's a pro for UCLA. Chip Kelly. Your second pro is the offense. The offense is pretty good for UCLA. They're going to put up some points this year in some of these games. So expect the offense to do good this year for UCLA. Your two cons is the defense. Your defense is going to struggle some this year. It struggled some last year. It's going to struggle some this year, and it might cost you a few games. Second con is the talent. The talent for UCLA is not as good as it should be, being UCLA, but hopefully it'll get better. I think Chip Kelly is not a bad recruiter, so hopefully it'll get better. But as of right now, the talent is not the best. Now let's talk about the best case and worst case scenario. Here's the schedule right here in front of you. Best case scenario, 8-4. I'll look at this schedule. They do not get Oregon or Washington out of the North, but they get to go on the road against Utah. That's gonna be a tough game. I think on the road against Washington State is gonna be a tough game. USC is a rivalry game. You can never count that one out. Oklahoma and Cincinnati, that's going to be tough games, especially the Oklahoma game. And even the Stanford game, that's going to be a tough game as well. So I think there's some games from there on there that that UCLA can certainly lose. Even like at Arizona and Arizona State are losable games. But overall, I think at best you go 8-4. Worst case scenario, 3-9. I look at the schedule. Oregon State is in my opinion, is the only sure game that I know you'll be favored in. The rest of these, I don't know. I think you at least win 3 of these games this year. So worst case scenario, 3-9. Best case scenario, 8-4. Your three toughest games are Oklahoma, Utah, and Stanford. Oklahoma college football playoff team the past 2 years. They have a really good offense. It's going to be tough for UCLA to stop that offense with Jalen Hurts. Utah, to me, they should be the favorites to at least win the Pac-12 South Division. They're a very good team, been very good the past 2 years. We'll see how they do this year, but I think Utah is going to be a tough game, especially on the road. And then Stanford on the road as well. I think that's going to be a tough game as well. Stanford, they are one of the better teams in the Pac-12. So I do think Stanford will do pretty good this year. And I think that's going to be a tough game for UCLA. The three easiest games are Oregon State, Colorado, and San Diego State. Oregon State, to me, I think you'll be favored in that game. We'll see what happens, though. Colorado, you get them at home, which I think is a plus for UCLA. We just did the Colorado football prediction video. And by the way, on the schedule here, I've done all the teams on the schedule. So go check out those videos on the McD Sports 4 YouTube page if you're interested. But Colorado, we'll see what happens. I do think Colorado, UCLA, I think they're on the same level. But we'll see what happens. The game is in UCLA. And then your final game, San Diego State. I had a good process of elimination. I think San Diego State is probably your third easiest game, but it's definitely not a give me. It's in UCLA, which I think is a plus, unlike the Cincinnati game, which you lost last year in UCLA, and this year you get them in Cincinnati. But I do think San Diego State, that's probably your third easiest game, so we'll see what happens there. But let's go through the schedule game by game. We'll see which games I have UCLA winning and losing. Your first game is a Thursday night game on the road against Cincinnati. Last year you lost to them in UCLA. This year is Thursday night on the road to open up the season. I think you lose to them again, 28-23. You play them tough, but at the end, Cincinnati might even be better than UCLA right now. So, and some people are projecting UCLA, not UCLA. Some people are projecting Cincinnati to make a New Year's Six bowl. So we'll see what happens there. But I do think Cincinnati goes ahead and wins this one, 28-23. Next game, San Diego State at home. I went back and forth with this one too. I think UCLA picks them off here. I think they get the win. I don't know if UCLA will be favored in this game, but I do think UCLA will go ahead and get the win here by a field goal. Kind of low scoring game, 24-21 UCLA. Next game, Oklahoma at home. Loss. I don't care that it's in UCLA. I don't think you're nowhere close to Oklahoma. 49-21 Oklahoma. Next game at Washington State. I give you a puncher's chance in this one. Washington State, I mean, they're going to take a step back, but they're still a pretty good team. You have to travel up there from Los Angeles to I forget what the play Pullman Pullman. So it's going to be kind of a tough game. I do think that you guys do drop this one, 42-24 Washington State. Next game at Arizona. I think this is a winnable game for UCLA. It is in the desert there against Arizona. Went back and forth with it. It's in Arizona. I gave the home field advantage to them. I picked Arizona to win this game, 51-40. I think they pull away a bit late, get the win here, 41-40, 51-40. Excuse me, 51-40 Arizona. I said 41-40. I think Arizona wins 51-40. Next game, Oregon State at home. Win. I think you're better than Oregon State. The game is in UCLA. You should get the win here. I think you'll be favored in everything. 48-27 UCLA. Then you get your first bye week. Every team gets 2 bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns with the schedule this year. Coming off the bye week, a Thursday night game on the road against Stanford, lost. Listen, I give you a puncher's chance in this game. I think Stanford's defense is too good, and I think that would be enough to put them over the top against UCLA. 31-10 Stanford. Next game is your homecoming game at home against Arizona State. I went back and forth with this one. I do think Arizona State is the better team, but after going back and forth, I'm going to say UCLA pulls off the upset. I think Arizona State will be favored going into this game. But give me UCLA to go ahead and win this one. 39-35 UCLA. It's homecoming. They'll get the win. Next game, Colorado at home. If you just watched Colorado football predictions, you already know who I have in this one. I went back and forth with it. I do think these teams are pretty much even. It's in UCLA. I gave the advantage to UCLA. I think they win this one 40-32. Then you get your second bye week. Coming off the bye week on the road against Utah, loss. You're nowhere near Utah. I think Utah takes advantage of you guys. It's in Utah, 31-14 Utah. Next game at USC. I'm gonna say at UCLA. At USC. If you're watching my USC football prediction video, you know I'm not high on them at all. I went back and forth with this one. USC could be a desperate team at this point. I gave USC the win. It's in USC. It's in the Coliseum. But I think you lose by a touchdown, 41-34 USC. And then your final game against Cal. Cal's a team that's going to have a really good defense, but a piss poor offense. I went back and forth with it. It is in Los Angeles. It is in UCLA. I think you get the win here, 21-20, low scoring game, but I think you find a way to muster this one out. So if you count up all the wins and losses, I have UCLA going 5-7 with a 4-5 conference record. 5-7 with a 4-5 conference record. This is a step in the right direction in my opinion. Last year UCLA I think went 4-8 or 3-9, something like that. I think they're competitive in the conference, even in the out conference, except the Oklahoma game. I think they're competitive in. I just think they don't have enough to make a bowl game at this time, but I do think they have enough to go 5-7 with a 4-5 conference record. Comment down below, tell me what you think. I always like hearing from y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you do that. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.